can try to...
Yeah.
She is going to check you in.
All right.
Once you're checked in, come see me and I'll get your hotel and your TriMet. These gentlemen can help you as well. We have passes for you.
Oh no.
You're
This is not the way to begin the show.
Hi, Lemuel.
It's impressive.
It is. Everything's real nice here at the convention center. Except for the carpet. The carpet is pretty dorky.
Take me deeper than my feet.
Forgiveness and reconciliation. Forgiveness and reconciliation. Forgiveness.
Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. And take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger.
A commissioner or advisory delegate with energy, intelligence, imagination, and love, relying on God's mercy and rejoicing in the power of the Holy Spirit.
I will with God's help.
Is not the common bond of unconditional love not enough to help us build on what we have together rather than what divides us? We need to celebrate. We need to shout to the world that we are loved and that we love one another.
Don't post it online. Hi.
Hi.
Take a bag. Why don't you come and take a bag?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Grace Seegers, YAAD from Presbytery of Long Island. And as a young woman, something that I really love about the Presbyterian Church is how open and inclusive it is. But at the same time, I really struggle with the patriarchal language and liturgy of our church. So I was wondering how you personally balance the dichotomy between the traditional paternalistic liturgy, ritual, dogma of our church with this message of inclusivity.
I love the manifestation of the masculine, and yet, if that is exclusively what we're using, then when do we get an opportunity to see God reflected in the feminine?
Use me.
we're talking about something basic here, water, to a crisis, and to bring that warmth and that kind of presence that's calming. So that's what I get from Gail.
For the congregation to hear that the national church is interested and is taking time to take part in this, that speaks volumes.
According to the 2010 census, there were over 1.7 million Korean Americans residing in the United States, and a significant number of them have affiliated with the Presbyterian Church USA. Today, Korean American Presbyterians boast over 400 thriving worshiping communities with 55,000 active members, making them the second largest racial ethnic minority within the PCUSA.
Speaking of questionable floor choices, there's a fake spider in this bathroom. We're here on the train. What time is it?
Midnight. 10 minutes to 12.
10 to 12.
10 to midnight. Just finished our plenary session, and I'm gonna try an experiment. God is great!
All the time!
All the time!
God is great!
Here you can see the herd of Presbyterians at midnight walking back to the Hilton.
I heard from a friend that the friend's sister was in Kuwait, and she had received a call from the friend to say that her sister was in desperate situation, that she had taken a job as a domestic worker in Kuwait, and she was now trapped in the household where she was meant to be employed.
We have in our midst a celebrity. Ruben Arbanderas, as an official Presbyterian geek, and it's great to have you here.
Carpets of Portland. From dorky to ridiculous.
Acts 19:32. The assembly was in confusion. Some were shouting one thing, some another. Most of the people didn't even know why they were there.
What were you on?
I was on 08, which is Middle East issues. The one that was totally voted down was the one for a boycott of Hewlett-Packard, which was very interesting to me because my son works for Hewlett-Packard. The other one that I thought we did a really good job on was about violence against children in the Middle East, both against Palestinian children. And after quite a bit of discussion and back and forth and getting expert opinions, we modified it greatly. We broadened the language to include not only acts by Israel, but also acts by the Palestinians against children. So I think it was a much better resolution at the end of the day. There were a lot of other resolutions as well, and a lot of amendments. I mean, it was quite intense, really. But I thought it was very fair. I could not have imagined how wonderful this is. I'm touched. Almost every hymn, or almost every prayer, or almost every sermon, I'm feeling connected to the people here, which is amazing because they're from everywhere in the country. Truly, I think a connection to all the people that I have met here in some way or another, and it's a intense feeling. So that's what I would say. It's a great experience.
But I'm reminded that I love the YAADs because I like being around younger people. That's how you stay young.
I think being a YAAD is really exciting. We have a really tight-knit community, and it's been cool to meet people from all over the country.
Is this your first time at GA?
Yes, it is, except I'm a total Presby geek, so I live streamed the last GA, so yeah, I'm really excited to be here in person now.
Do you have a favorite blog or website that you follow for GA?
I follow Twitter. Yeah. I'm on Committee 12, Peacemaking and International Issues. So we had 2 commissioner resolutions that were both about sanctuary for refugees, so I was really excited to see those. It's interesting to see the whole polity thing in action. I've been in Model UN, so I'm kind of used to the whole Robert's Rules, but it's very different and it's way more intense, so that's been interesting to see.
Yeah.
Lots of amendments to the amendments and alternate resolutions and stuff, so it's been pretty intense. Instagram is only for pictures. And like Facebook, you can do pictures and just text. And then Snapchat is more of like texting people pictures / like posting pictures to your story. So you can like jog.
I had Twitter at one point and I was featured.
You're filming this.
Last year I was in a meeting, an ecumenical meeting, and as I was leaving and was at the airport, I ran into someone I know. We were talking and he said, "Bishop, you all have the country all messed up." And I said, "Who's you all?" He said, "You faith leaders." I said, "What did we do?" He said, "One group of you all is saying one thing, and another group of you all is saying something else. You all need to get it together." First thing we must do in the midst of this crisis of conflicting voices is that each of us must remain faithful.
I served on the Polity and Ordered Ministry committee. I think the one that was most interesting was the renunciation of jurisdiction for a pastor who has renounced jurisdiction in the Presbyterian Church and what they can do in the church while having not gone through disciplinary charges. And there were 3 different overtures to that, and the idea of picking and choosing the one that best represented the opinion of the committee was a fascinating process to watch. This is my 5th GA. I was commissioner in San Jose. I attended Denver before that and have gone to Minneapolis and Detroit in addition to this one. This is the best GA I have been to. There were discussions and there were disagreements, but they were amicable and they were done with the spirit both of grace and really thinking about the future of the church. I'm just grateful to Mission Presbytery to be a commissioner. Again, when I finished in San Jose, I said it was the best job I never wanted to have again. But I really appreciate the opportunities to have this kind of, not exactly influence, but at least be able to add my voice to what's going on in the future of the church, and particularly to listen to the voice of the YAADs. And because they are the future of the church and they have a lot to tell us.
God, I come to you and confess that oftentimes when we bow our heads, it is not to pray, but to turn our faces away from the suffering around us.
I was on 9, Immigration and Environmental. I was very interested in the divestment overture, and I'm hoping and praying that a decision is being made with wisdom and love.
How close was the committee vote?
Very, very close. I think within 7 or 8 votes. So we've proposed a minority report. It hasn't come before the committee yet, so we'll see how things go today. I was paying a little bit of attention to the Middle East one, but I've lost track of it and all the fun we've had this week. So hopefully we'll get to that tonight.
Yeah.
I am surprised at the semantical game we play on the floor when semantics I thought would be done in committees. So that's been interesting to me. GA has been an enlightening experience. I've enjoyed meeting people and getting to know people a little better, and I'm ready to go home though. I'm tired. We worked hard last night.
Yeah.
I've had prayers from my home congregation that I have greatly appreciated. Very, very non-persuasive in one way or the other, but the prayers are much, much appreciated and encouragement.
We believe the confession of Belhar is our confession today.
I must take a deep breath for this one. Mr. Clark, great persons, I want to say to you, veteran of unity and reconciliation, brothers and sisters, it is 5:45 in the morning in South Africa. And I believe there are those who did not sleep waiting for this moment. It is the 22nd at the 222nd General Assembly. I will never forget this date. Your decision, indeed, a defining moment in the PCUSA. I do believe we shall overcome someday.
So I just want to point out this tile, which really doesn't look too bad. And there's a really smooth transition that makes a whole lot of sense over here to this carpet. Totally matches, doesn't look weird at all. Are you recording me?
I am recording you. Are you recording me?
Yes.
All right.
How do you think this GA is going so far?
How do you think this GA is going? How about you, Amy? How's your committee work going?
Real good.
Yeah? How's your photography and videography skills going? Huh?
It's being challenged right now.
It's being challenged? Been exhausting. I'm on the committee number 4, the Way Forward, and we started meeting a day early, and when all other committees finished by 5 o'clock yesterday, we met until 9:30 and finished at 9:30. So in my family, it's my birthday. I miss Father's Day and my birthday.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of specifics related to the gentleman's amendment, and I don't. Yes, I do believe there is a lot of word changes, but I don't think it is as simple as just changing the word from commission to committee, and therefore I don't feel like the details of this amendment are really going to capture the whole of what is trying to be accomplished here.
The committee process for committee number 4, the Way Forward, those moderators and those leaders were out of this world. Incredible. Our youth, young adult advisory delegates, I haven't seen or met or heard from an unproductive one yet. And the ones on our committee were flipping outstanding.
Yeah,
so
very prepared.
Very prepared, and very proud of that. I dreamt in Robert's Rules of Order last night, and I woke up with a headache, and so that was a surprise, because it's like one thing, you've heard people who pray in another language, right? You've learned Spanish so much that your dreams start to, you dream in Spanish. Well, that's what happened with Robert Rules of Order last night for me. I dreamt in parliamentary procedure.
The main motion and any amendments that are made should be made to strengthen the main motion. It should be made by people that are supportive of the main motion. And after that is done, the moderators declared it perfected. Then we will perfect the minority report of the substitute motion. The Again, we'll receive amendments from those people who are in support of the substitute minority report. And after that is done, the moderator will declare that perfected. At the end of that process, the motion will be, shall the minority report become the main motion? So let's begin the process by having the minority report moved into action, and we'll proceed.
I was on committee 14, which was Theological Institutions and Issues in Worship. We approved the new, or we recommended to approve the new directory for worship.
Oh, that's great.
That was exciting.
Well done.
We went line by line.
Ooh.
And that included the new wording about baptism requirement for the Lord's Supper. It also included the affirmation of creation and the clergy letter project, which are...
So how do you explain your actions to your creationist members of your congregation?
They left a long time ago.
No creationists were harmed in the filming of this, at least not by me.
The wording that we ultimately pass says that we urge, this General Assembly urges all councils to provide at least 6 weeks of paid leave and 6 weeks of unpaid leave to those who either give birth or are adopting or taking care of an elderly parent. And then that leaves interpretation for each individual council depending on the laws of their own states and other things that might that they might have to take into account.
On the frame, Amy.
This is not uncomfortable at all.
I think it's
I enjoy.
great.
I hope this is HD because.
I'd like to speak against this amendment. My concern is that requiring baptism in order to take the Lord's Supper would block something spiritual that could happen between the communicant and Christ. I wouldn't want to block that union from happening for any reason. Thank you.
As we know, there are pastoral exceptions when at times people come to the table and we become aware that they have not yet been baptized. The revision to the directory for worship in the section that we're looking at follows the advice of the 2010 General Assembly, the pastoral guidance of that assembly, in saying that when we become aware that someone is coming to the table who's not yet baptized, we welcome them, we feed them, but then we promptly invite them into deeper relationship with Christ through baptism, thereby preserving this relationship between the sacraments that is so important.
Thank you.
I served on the Mission Committee. Well, I think the most interesting one was the one to try and engage young black men in the church to get them back. And that's a wonderful idea, and I think we should work on it. I think it's going very good. Yeah. Railroad runs through the middle of the house. It's all been fairly level. You know, most things pass without comment. There have been some questions and some discussion on items. So most discussion is very good. Some of it's been a little tedious, but no, I think overall it's a very good session. You know, keeping hope, very important. Something that I've had a lot of all my life. 50 years as a doctor. So, you have to keep your faith and keep your hope.
We have been reconciled. We have been called and entrusted. And all this comes from Christ, our host, who invites us to share in the feast he has prepared.
I served on Committee 13, Board of Pensions, PILP, Presbyterian Foundation, and Presbyterian Publishing Corporation. We actually only had one overture. It was a commissioner's resolution, in reality. It was about something that had happened and gone up the ladder and back down the ladder. It was interesting. but we rejected it. Then it got pulled out of the consent agenda and came to the floor of plenary, and it got shot down again. The most exciting thing for me has been remembering all the stuff that happens in PCUSA and finding all the connections to that, the resources and how to get to those, hearing other people's stories and being able to tap into those through the videos. It's another GA. This is actually the third one I've been to. And it's going pretty well so far. We haven't had some of the acrimony I've seen in the past. The moderators are doing a good job, and people seem to mostly want to get along.
Mary, I would just like to ask, considering that 99% of our food comes from so-called factory farms, what are the alternatives proposed to make up the deficit if we are not supporting large-scale farming?
And I say corporate farms. They are the ones who have no regard for the land in which they are building their farms, for the stench they are creating, for the pollution in the water, and for ruining the land next to a family farmer who will not be able to sell his farm or retire with security.
We believe that there are good energy partners and there are bad energy partners.
Even as we act to divest from companies dedicated to fossil fuel extraction, we can and we must stand in solidarity with those who will feel the greatest burden. That is what it means to be the Church of Jesus Christ.
The truth is, coal production has been on constant decline since 1915. 1915. For the entirety of these past 101 years, coal companies have exploited our mountains for their own profit, giving back very little, if anything at all, to the communities that have lived in that beautiful land.
I was on ecumenical and interfaith relations. Two things. Number one, we were the conduit through whom the Belhar Confession came back to the floor of the Assembly. That's historic, and it was an amazingly prophetic thing. Second, we wanted to find ways to say to the whole church, interfaith and ecumenical conversations are essential, crucial, risky, do it. And we did. Yeah, some of the detailed votes on some of the particular overtures and particularly amendments to amendments were rather surprising. There are times when we get scared and don't want to move. I was a commissioner to the 200th, and this is the 222nd, and I've probably been to 15 or 18 since in between. As an observer, as a friend, they're a family reunion. It's the arena where the church can be most prophetic and most biblical, and that's exciting to be a part of. Simple language that is not a beer wagon. I'm disappointed that we have to find nuanced, subtle, simple language to not frighten people into discovering that science and faith both describe aspects of reality using different metaphors and systems.
Letting your brothers and sisters and the government know about it by using the hashtag #WeChooseWelcome in your social media. When refugees arrive, you are being Christ's hands and feet by remaining steadfast in your decades-long commitment to assisting in refugee resettlement. Did you know that Presbyterians through this voting body have been making statements in support of refugee resettlement and partnering with Church World Service since 1947?
question over here. Microphone 7.
Mara Emmons, Twin Cities Presbytery. I don't want to publicly out anyone, so I would like the answer to my question to be anonymous, but I was wondering if there was any publicly queer people in the committee that made this overture as it is stated by the committee.
The delegate at microphone 2 seems to have hopped up.
Hey, hon.
Fingers.
Oh, I do enjoy good applause. Robert Galloway, TSAD, Presbytery, Charlotte. As this does directly address me and several of my friends, I really think this is a fantastic opportunity for us. I find it acceptable. I am actually extremely excited for it, and I am glad to be promoting it and supporting it today. I forgot my monogrammed tote bag on my seat, but yes, I'm gay and I served on the committee. Thank you.
We're almost finished.
Each one of us was called to this time and place to serve or observe the 222nd General Assembly as witnesses to the way that God continues to be at work in our denomination.
Scotland remains open, so you must all come and visit frequently. The exchange rate has never been better, so bring lots of dollars.
Providing a mandate.
Favorite part of GA actually has not happened yet. It's going to happen tomorrow when I go home.
I'm a young elder.
Please say no.
And I do not covet my neighbors in breaking of the commandments.
Did you know that Calvin has 3 uses of the law, and I don't know any of them?
What?
Oh.
Ready? Happy birthday to you.
Did you know that the PCUSA is divesting from all men?
That's a divestment I could support.
See, now they're just messing with us here.
The doors are closing. Train departing. Please hold on.